Fear and worry is something that comes up for a lot of young people that we speak to. For some of them, it's their first experience of death, and that can be worrying for themselves or for people around them. So from your viewpoint, how's that been for you with fear and worry?
I would say I experienced fear and worry before my person died, when they were dying, and after, and they're completely all different types of fear and worry. Anxiety is a huge emotion. I'd definitely say one of the biggest ones I felt in my grief. And before my person died, there was this fear of the unexpected. What was going to happen? All these unanswered questions that 12-year-old me had no clue what was going on. Mm-hmm. But when they were dying, it was that fear of what's going to happen next? What's going to, mum's going to be left. And now after they've died, it's that fear of how am I going to grow up without that person? And like I say, I struggle with anxiety a lot, and it's something that still to this day I struggle with so much with my grief. The fear of anniversaries coming up, the fear of birthdays coming up, the fear of celebrating any milestone without them is something that I really struggle with. And also the fear of looking into my future, knowing that they're not going to be there for my future, how a certain event's going to be without them there. Stuff like my wedding when I'm older, how's that going to be? And it's something that plays on my mind a lot, and something that I ask myself a lot every single day. But when I was younger, it was always that fear of how am I going to cope? What's going to happen? And I think, like I say, anyone who's going through grief could probably relate to that fear of, oh my goodness, like, how am I going to cope without my person?
So it's like almost when your person died, it was that fear of, what about the rest of the people in my life? You mentioned your mum, what about my mum? Was any of that towards your own mortality as well? Were you worried about yourself?
I'm the type of person that I always put others before me, and that was something as well with my grief that I really, really struggled with. Mm-hmm. And Winston's wish had a massive part in that, in me accepting that actually I do need to put myself first, and I do need to talk and feel about my emotions as well as everyone else's. As I've got older, and with the help of Winston's wish, I am learning to deal with my anxieties before others and worry about myself before. But yeah, the older I'm getting, it is getting better, but it is still really present.
Yeah. So now your anxiety is more around how are you going to cope at the next big event or next milestone for you, and what's that going to look like?
Yeah. For example, like Christmas has always been a struggle for me growing up, and even now it's autumn. It's like, okay, I can feel it. It's coming up. I know
it's in the background.
It's coming up, and also like New Year, entering a new year without your person is something that I've always struggled with as well, because it's that time passing and that anxiety of it's been another year without them. But yeah, like I say, the anxieties have already begun to start, and even though I might be fine on Christmas, you never know, but that anxiety is always there, because it's that build up to that big event where family time is obviously such a major thing. Yeah.
So is there anything that you do to manage your worry or your anxiety when it comes?
I have kept journaling in my life a lot. Journaling has become a massive part of my life. If I'm ever having a day where I feel overwhelmed, worried, anxious, I will write it down. It's been a massive part of my grief journey. But also as well, exercise. I'm really into my running now as well, and it's something that helps me offload, and I can be with my own thoughts, and it helps me feel a lot calmer. But also as well, meeting new people as well throughout my grief journey has really, really helped, knowing that I have someone to relate to. When I was younger, I always used to feel really anxious at the fact that I felt like this 12-year-old that no one knew what grief was like. I didn't have anyone to talk to in school about it. Yeah. And again, Winston's wish have helped me realise that there are other people going through it, and it's not something that needs to be this taboo subject. Yeah. The one thing that I am at the moment really trying to focus on with my grief is trying to not let that fear and worry consume me, and just taking like day by day. And it's okay if I feel anxiety today, because tomorrow I might not.